think the process has brought clarity, has brought understanding to what I needed to have to change and make change, but also not just to make change, but to understand my role in that process and my role in myself of the change that's required from me. So I think having to talk about that every week without, at first you think, oh my goodness, weekly is a lot of time, because I don't have a lot of time to give that, because I'm distracting everybody. That's why I don't have time. But at the same time, if you don't do it weekly, I feel that it wouldn't be as the momentum wouldn't grow as quickly, and that the reflections don't come as much. I think the reflection, because I know it's another week, it's like, okay, what did I get from that week, or what have I taken on board, and what am I now, where am I transferring my thoughts to? And I suppose that was really good for me, and I just really think that clarity is something that's, we always know that, oh, well, I've got to do this and I've got to make this, and see, I should have, and I should be doing this and I should be doing that. But sometimes when you can just sit with somebody and talk through some of that process and some of that thinking, I think is critically valuable to actually know where you are at, professionally and personally. My goal was how do I take the next steps, is to find a way to take the next steps. I think the goal was, and even though I didn't know this was a goal, Bettina, I think the goal was to elevate. How do I elevate? And is it possible to elevate? Is it possible to elevate me as a person, as a human being? Is it possible to elevate NFP House? So it's really impacted quite a lot, because the little things that I know have changed. We've got an opportunity to go to Canberra next month to do a rural and regional Australia service sort of workshops and things, and do it at Parliament House so that politicians can see it. And the point is, normally I'd say, oh no, we can't afford the trip, we can't do this, we can't do that, but that was limiting my thoughts. So what this has done is, no, if we are aiming to elevate our business and wanting to take our business, then we have to start behaving and doing the things which will elevate and take us, even if it's in our own thinking, even if it's in our own perception that this is what we have to do, we have to do it. So consequently, we're going to Canberra. But it's that sort of thinking about how do we do this. And I think the first session I had with you in Melbourne, when we were talking about what NFP House could be, I think it excited me, because my mind, I probably was always hoping that it could be this and always wanting it to be this, but I wasn't actually walking the talk. So now we are walking the talk, because we've developed some sort of idea around and framework around how does that evolution come to be a state body? How are we evolving to that state level? And then how are we evolving to a national level? So we've sort of got it in our minds, and even written, because Lois has made sure it's all written, how we're going to do that. So now that that's fixed, that's what we're manifesting. That's what we're starting to concentrate on, not just survival. And I suppose that's what it was at some stage. It was more about survival rather than growth. And so now it's more about growth. It's interesting to watch Lois and I, and we always had a connection. But I think it's on that deeper level now for the business. I don't think it's on that personal connection. It's still there. That personal connection is still there. But I feel that the connection has deepened in terms of the business connection and the business transfer of DNA and the business where we're here. So there's times where, and Lois, bless her little heart, we'll talk about this and we'll do a pitch. And when we're finished doing a pitch with somebody together, because we just, now glide so really, really well, she comes out and she goes, "That motivated me. That was so amazing. We do such a good job. We're so, like, our business is so good. It's got the great premises of being fantastic." So when it motivates yourself about how we're portraying our business and how we're portraying what we do and the benefits of that to the rest of Australia, and it motivates yourself saying that, I think we've got something that's good. Do you know what I mean? So that's coming really nicely now. So, I can't just say it was that session, but I can say that I believe that session cemented a lot of that, and that session gave us a lot of that. I don't think we always trusted each other, but the part of it where you asked me to look up and say that's my future, and the part of it that you asked her to say, how are you going to do these little stepping stones, and that I was there to hold a hand and that sort of stuff. I think it's given us that sense of comfort. I don't think there's a whole heap of anxiety between either of us at this point in time. So yeah, I think it was really, really beneficial. It was consistently there with process all the time of how I could do things, how I could process things, how I could manage things, how I, even just today, I mean, a lot of the stuff you do know in a way, but then it's not systemized to make it just that much easier. Do you know what I mean? Oh, if I write those 4 things and draw those 4 boxes, that's all I need to do. And that then gives you that sense of calmness and sense of, okay, I can do this. That's fine. I'll just work it out which one comes first, and this is how I do it. I don't have to stress about it. I've got a process to worry about it. My thing is that I suppose with a lot of the processes, I still have to, because I'm a being that's full of feeling, and a very big feeling person, and I still got to have that intuition, that gut feel, that sense of belief. So it's beautiful to take all that stuff and then marry it with some process and systems, not to leave one or the other. I don't think one or the other is the answer. I think it's a combination of how we learn to use our strengths. So my strength is my feeling, but then to learn and incorporate some of the processes which could just minimize the impact of some of those massive feelings where it's overwhelmed or this or that, or feeling I'm alone doing it, whatever the case may be. I think that's the lovely recipe. The biggest thing for me is not prioritizing it. It's not necessarily being afraid, but somebody not prioritizing some coaching when there is a really strong benefit, a really rewarding, I suppose, benefit at the end of it. I really feel that the prioritization is the biggest thing rather than being afraid.